Hello, everyone. Today's story is about a ceasefire in a holy war. It's about a moment when a hero returned to save his people, stood before his most loyal followers, and announced he had made a pact with the devil himself. For over a decade, the world of personal computing was a binary universe. You were either Mac or you were PC. It wasn't just a choice of operating systems, it was a choice of identity. You were a creative rebel, or you were a corporate drone. At the head of these two warring tribes stood two titans, Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. Their rivalry was the defining story of their generation. So in August 1997, when a newly returned Steve Jobs took the stage at Macworld Boston, the faithful were gathered, expecting him to reignite the war. Instead, he did the unthinkable. He invited the enemy through the gates. This is the story of the mindset that forced a visionary to swallow his pride and make a deal with his greatest rival to save his company. This is the mind story of the alliance that changed everything. The Steve Jobs who returned to Apple in 1997 was not the king of a powerful empire. He was the captain of a sinking ship. The company was hemorrhaging money, its market share had dwindled to a terrifying low, and it was bogged down in multiple costly lawsuits. One of the biggest of these was with Microsoft. Apple had sued Microsoft, claiming that the Windows operating system had illegally copied the look and feel of the Macintosh. This legal battle had been raging for years, draining resources and creating immense animosity. But the lawsuit was just one part of a much bigger problem. Apple's survival depended on two things: customers buying its computers and developers making software for them. The biggest and most important developer was, ironically, Microsoft. Microsoft Office was a critical piece of software. If Microsoft decided to stop making Office for Mac, businesses would have no reason to buy Apple computers. The company would die. This gave Bill Gates incredible leverage. Furthermore, Apple's reputation was in tatters. The market had lost confidence. Investors were fleeing. The company was seen as a relic, a sinking ship that no sane developer would tie their future to. Jobs knew he didn't have time for a long, protracted war. He needed to stabilize the ship, and he needed to do it immediately. He needed to end the costly lawsuits. He needed to guarantee the future of Microsoft Office for Mac. And most importantly, he needed to send a powerful signal to the world that Apple was not going to die. To do all of that, he had to do the one thing his fans would despise. He had to call Bill Gates. After a series of secret negotiations, a deal was struck. And on August 6, 1997, Jobs walked onto that stage to face his most loyal followers and tell them the news. Okay, here we go. They're all out there. The faithful, the ones who stuck with us through all the bad years. They're looking for a hero. They're looking for me to come out with a sword and slay the dragon, slay Microsoft. They're about to be very, very disappointed. I can almost hear the boos already. This is going to be painful. My own ego is screaming at me right now. Gates, the guy who stole our ideas, the guy with no taste, and I'm about to invite him to the party. More than that, I'm about to announce that he is investing in us. It feels like a surrender, a shift to cold, hard pragmatism. But what choice do we have? Feelings don't matter right now. Survival matters. The lawsuits are a black hole for money and energy. We need to end them. Microsoft Office? It's the gun to our head. If they pull the plug, we're dead. Period. We need a 5-year commitment from them. That's non-negotiable. That stabilizes the platform. It tells developers it's safe to build for the Mac again. The investment, the $150 million. Honestly, the money is the least important part. It helps, but it's not the point. The point is the signal. It's Bill Gates, our arch nemesis, publicly placing a bet on our survival. It's a vote of confidence so loud that no one can ignore it. It tells the world Apple is here to stay. That message alone is worth more than the money. They will boo. They will see it as a betrayal. I have to make them see the bigger picture. This isn't about winning or losing a war against Microsoft anymore. That war is over. We lost. We have to accept that. The new war, it's Apple versus irrelevance, Apple versus obscurity. And in this new war, to survive, we need to get rid of the idea of a binary world. The world is not black and white. Microsoft being a winner doesn't have to mean Apple is a loser. For Apple to be healthy, we need help. We need partners. And right now we need Microsoft. This is about moving forward. This is about healing. This is about saving the company I love. My pride is a small price to pay for that. Okay, time to face the music. And when Jobs made the announcement, the crowd did boo, loudly. But Jobs calmed them down, explaining the new reality. This moment was the death of the young, idealistic, us versus them, Steve Jobs. And it was the birth of the mature, pragmatic leader who would build the most valuable company in the world. Let's analyze the 3 principles of this new mindset. Principle number 1, pragmatism over pride. This is the core lesson. The old Jobs would have rather seen Apple burn to the ground than make a deal with Bill Gates. His ego, his pride, and his holy war were too important. The new Jobs understood a brutal truth. Your mission must be more important than your ego. Apple's survival was the mission. His personal feelings about Bill Gates were irrelevant. This is an incredibly difficult but crucial step in the evolution of any leader. The ability to separate your personal feelings from your strategic objectives. He chose survival over being right. Principle number 2, redefine the enemy. For years, the enemy was Microsoft, but Jobs, in his inner monologue, redefined the enemy. The new enemy was irrelevance and obscurity. This is a brilliant strategic reframing. By changing the definition of the enemy, he was able to change the definition of an ally. Microsoft was no longer the primary threat. They were now a potential partner in the fight against a much bigger threat, Apple's extinction. This teaches us a powerful lesson in strategy. If you can't win the game you're playing, change the game. Jobs stopped playing Mac versus PC and started playing Apple versus death. In that new game, Microsoft was a valuable teammate. Principle number 3, the strategy of the public endorsement. The $150 million investment was non-voting stock. It gave Microsoft no control. So why was it so important? Jobs knew that confidence is contagious. At a time when everyone believed Apple was dying, having the CEO of the world's most successful tech company publicly invest in you was the ultimate vote of confidence. It was a signal to every other developer, every investor, and every customer that it was safe to bet on Apple again. It was a psychological masterstroke. The lesson? Sometimes the symbolism of a partnership is more valuable than its financial terms. It was a strategic press release disguised as a financial transaction. The story of this unlikely alliance is a playbook for navigating complex rivalries in our own lives and careers. First, identify your real enemy. In your career, you might see a rival colleague as your enemy. You compete for promotions, for the boss's attention. But take a step back and ask, who is the real enemy? Is it your colleague? Or is it the company's declining market share? A difficult project that could make you both look bad? Or a toxic company culture? By identifying a larger common enemy, you can reframe your rival as a potential ally. Collaborating to solve a bigger problem could lead to a win for both of you that is far greater than any small victory you could achieve alone. Second, practice co-opetition. This is the modern business term for cooperative competition. In many industries, the company you see as your biggest rival might also be your biggest potential partner in another area. Perhaps you can partner on a research project, lobby for industry-wide regulations together, or integrate your products to create a better experience for both your customers. The lesson is to stop thinking in binary terms. Your relationship with a competitor doesn't have to be 100% adversarial. Look for the win-win. Finally, know when to swallow your pride. We all have personal histories, old arguments, and bruised egos, but a mature leader, in business and in life, knows when the mission is more important than their personal feelings. Is holding on to a grudge with a family member worth the ongoing conflict? Is refusing to work with a difficult colleague worth letting a crucial project fail? The ability to set aside your ego for a greater good is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate sign of strength and strategic wisdom. The announcement of the Apple-Microsoft partnership was not Steve Jobs' most glamorous moment. There was no one more thing. There was no standing ovation. There were boos. But in many ways, it was his finest hour as a leader. It was the moment he proved that he was no longer just a passionate artist, but a master strategist willing to make incredibly difficult choices for the survival of his creation. He taught the world that in the complex game of business, sometimes the most rebellious, most think-different move you can make is not to declare war, but to declare peace. It was a deal born of desperation, but it was executed with genius, and it laid the foundation for the greatest corporate comeback the world has ever seen.